Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, it's my pleasure to present to you the next in our series of NPC QuestLines videos, and I'm going to be taking you through Sorceress Sellen's questline today. You join me now in Limgrave as I'm running towards the Waypoint Ruins, and this is going to be the first time you encounter her. Down in the cellar here, you'll have to take out a Mad Pumpkin Head boss, and as I'm fighting him, I'll flash the map up on the screen so you can see exactly where I am, and once he's defeated, through the door, you'll be able to introduce yourself to Sellen. Let her know that you want to learn sorceries, and she will advise you that she has been exiled because she dabbles in primeval glintstone sorcery, and she is a reviled apostate witch, and she advises against you becoming her apprentice. But if you still wish to, she'll let you know that she does not coddle, and you need to be ready for her to tell you off and tell you exactly how it is. So now that you've done that and you've accepted yourself into her service, you can purchase a few sorceries from her and also will receive the Nod in Thought emote. Now I'll rest at the site of grace and we'll move on to the next part of her questline. Now, the next part of her questline cannot be accessed until much further in the game. As you're exploring the outskirts around Volcano Manor, toward the southeast, you will come across a boss, Demi-Human Queen Maggie. Once you've defeated her and all of her lackeys, you'll then be able to traverse some rocks just to the north of her, and before long, you'll encounter the primeval sorcerer Azur, who will grant you the Comet Azur spell. It is this spell that we need before we can continue on with Sellen's questline. You can find the full guide on how to get to this spell as part of my Things You Missed in the Volcano Manor Outskirts video. And the Things You Missed series is a full playlist that will talk you through the entire game in order. So if you're not currently here yet or aren't sure how to get here, make sure you go and watch that, and I'll catch up with you again in the next part of this video once you've got this sorcery. Now that we're back at Sellen and we've presented her with the Comet Azur sorcery, she will reveal more of her story to us, and we can say to her, let's journey together. By answering this way, she will provide you with the Sellian Sealbreak, which you can now take to the Sellian hideaway here in Caelid. Most of this dungeon is very uninteresting, so progress through looting the minor items at your leisure. Eventually, you'll get down to the bottom, and once you've defeated this sorcerer, you can use the Sellian Sealbreaker to, you guessed it, break the seal. And here, you'll find Master Lusat. From him, you'll be granted the Stars of Ruin. And whilst we're in this cave, because I mentioned in the previous video that I was going to cover it, I'm just going to sprint through everything that I already explored in the last video, and I'll join you again here, right at the bottom of the cave, just in front of the boss room. I'm going to skip past the boss fight, because we've got a very exciting video coming up, and I will show you the boss fight and talk you through it then. For now, kill the 3 putrid Castellans, and you'll be rewarded with the Crystal Torrent. Now, let's head back to Sellen and progress her questline. Now that you've done that, you'll be able to talk to her again, and she'll explain to you that the body you're looking at is just a projection and not her real body. In the meantime, you can also tell her about Lusat's whereabouts, and she'll give you some starlight shards. And once you've finished talking to her, we now want to go to the Weeping Peninsula, specifically to the 4th Church of Marika. Head slightly south to the Witchbane Ruins, and just past where the Graven Heads enemy spawns, you can go into the cellar here and see the real Sorceress Sellen. You now have to pull her life force out of her in the form of her primal glintstone, and she's now effectively dying, so we're going to need to find her a new host ASAP. If you go back to the Waypoint Ruins in Limgrave, you'll see she's no longer there, because you're carrying her in your pockets. To progress the next part of the quest, you need to make sure you've exhausted Castellan Jerren's dialogue at Redmane Castle. So I'm just going to come back to his throne room and make sure that he isn't sat on the chair after the Radahn boss fight. And he is not. This is good. That means I have progressed his quest. I didn't forget to do that bit. So now we'll go back to the 4th Church of Marika in the Weeping Peninsula and back into the Witchbane Ruins cellar. And he will be stood there. He is completely oblivious as to the fact that you're there. He hates her and wants her to die. So the fact that the player character stays completely silent and doesn't tell him that we've actually been helping her works out quite well for us. He then advises that he believes that she isn't truly dead and that she will turn up in a new body.
The woman, she was like a husk. Her soul already fled. I suspect Sellen lives on elsewhere. I'm sure she'll turn up eventually. In another body, a sickening thought. But one that won't stop gnawing at me.
we're now going to teleport to Rani's Rise, right at the top of Liurnia, and after some fumbling about, I'll finally find the hidden entrance, and let me just pull it up on the map so you can see exactly where it is, just here to the northeast. And as we go down into the cellar, to the left of this message that reads Saluvius's puppet, do not touch, you can break an illusionary wall and transplant the primal glintstone into Sellen's new body.
My apprentice. Just how long has it been? Thank you. You've helped me fill a new body once again.
She is incredibly happy with you. Now she's going to return to the academy, expel the Carian royal family, and restore the primeval current. This is bad. This is not a thing that we want. So let's see what we can do about it, shall we? I now meet you at the Raya Lucaria Grand Library Site of Grace, where Renala, the Queen of the Full Moon, is. You want to head out the front entrance here. Oh, by the way, here's Bok. Bok's now a human. I'll talk you through that, how that happened. I'll talk you through his questline another day. But for now, head out the front, and then facing the academy, on your left-hand side is a sign to challenge Sorceress Sellen, and on your right is a sign to assist her. Either way, there is going to be some missable loot here. Depending on which one you choose, depends on which loot you miss. If you side with Jerren, which is what I'm going to do, the biggest reward is you get an ancient dragon smithing stone, which you will not get if you side with Sellen. You also receive her bell bearing and her witch's glintstone crown, so you don't miss out on any of her loot. And once you've finished, if you want, you can then murder him and also get his eccentric set. But what you do miss out on is both Primeval Master Azur and Lusat's armor sets, along with a weapon, the Glintstone Chris, which is an intellect scaling dagger, along with the Shard Spiral sorcery. So you do miss out on a lot if you don't side with Sellen. However, for the Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone, I really think siding with Jerren in your first playthrough for the extra upgrade materials is very worth it. Now that we've grabbed the loot off her,
You've helped me fulfill an old promise. This is the least I can do for you. Please, take it.
we've got the smithing stone and we've murdered him for his armor set. That's it. You have completed one of the two possible endings for Sellen's questline. I hope you had as much fun with this one as I did. Good luck as you're doing it in your own playthrough. Please like and subscribe to stay tuned for all this juicy content. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.